And what's cracking, you guys? Welcome to the Mango Grove. How is everyone doing today? How's it going, Ghost? He says, "Yep, that's it. We're done. See you in 4 years." You know how it goes. He's like, "Joke, joke. It's never over," and that's exactly right. It's never over. Okay. Remember, what we're looking for over here as traders is volatility, and I think we've got quite a bit of volatility past 1 month. What do you guys say? And volatility is the lifeblood of these markets. We're going to wait for a couple of more people to join in. In the meanwhile, what I am going to do is I need to set a timer for myself just in case I don't go overboard. I've started timing my tasks. Helps me be a lot more efficient. And also, guys, don't forget to hit the like. Hit the likes. So let's actually begin in 3, 2, 1. How's it going, you guys? I kind of missed the intro. You might remember that mango intro, the mango rolling in and the bulb going off. I think I'm gonna bring that back. Next live stream, I am going to bring that back. I'm using a different set of application right now, so I don't have everything like set up. How's it going, Vishal? Volatility is why we're here. Imagine if we were all just in stable coins. Let's face it, Vishal. You know, these markets, I mean, these 6-month consolidations, it sucked the life out of everyone. It was as good as being in stable coins. And I feel like that's where people are getting really, really disgruntled. It's the fact that when the rallies happen, it happens in a burst. So it happens in a matter of like maybe a few weeks, if you're lucky, a few months, and then it's like 6 months of consolidation. And that's what lulls people into complacency, right? That's where people sort of miss the big moves. And I think we've all been in those shoes where, you know, we're looking at a certain asset. And we're like, you know what? I want to get in on this asset, but hey, it looks like I got time. I'm going to go out. I'm going to chill with my friends. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And you always tell yourself you're going to get into the position. You're going to get in. And then that's the thing, right? That volatility lulls you, the lack of volatility lulls you into complacency such that you don't end up getting in. And then in one fine morning, prices just pump in your face. That's where the volatility kicks in. And I think what people have forgotten so far in this market is they've forgotten crypto's volatility. When the volatility kicks in, I mean, it doesn't like, you know, jog you. It takes like a whole bucket of water and just puts it on you. Be like, get up. So it's like you're either in or you're not. And then one morning you get up to like a 20-30% pump. And that's what's been happening. It's like you're either in on your position or you're not. And if you're not, you're then catching the tops. People are buying in on the tops, buying in very close to the top, only to get into the next 6-month consolidation. They're just like, are you freaking kidding me? All the while, TradFi is pumping. TradFi is looking great. Hell, gold. People are freaking taking loans, selling their homes, selling every freaking asset they have, only to get in on gold. Who would have thought? The best trade was sitting right there. If you're brown, then that was in your vanity somewhere. It's in the culture. Never clicked on the live so fast. Okay, so let's actually get in. What I'm going to do is let's talk about what's actually important. Bitcoin, yes, but more importantly, the monthly close. We're like less than a week away from the brand new month of November. Now, gun to my head. You had to ask me, Krisha, what do you think happens in the next 2 months? Bullish or bearish? I'm bullish. Okay, I'm just going to say it. Bullish. Now, of course, this is not financial advice. I'm going to tell you why I'm leaning more bullish than bearish today. And more importantly, for those of you in the Discord chat, well, good. For those of you not in the Discord chat, what are you doing? Okay, because I actually turned bullish, a little too bullish, a couple of days ago, and we were having this conversation on the Discord chat. People were talking about how they were looking for Bitcoin to come lower, and specifically $100,000. Right? I need to do one thing. Sorry that I broke off there. So specifically $100,000, right? Everyone was looking at 100K, and so was I. I mean, for those of you who've been following the Bitcoin updates, I too was looking at $100,000. But something happened on the 23rd, right? 23rd, I woke up, I looked at the chart, I found something. I'm like, oh shit. I think we might have gotten front run. So while people were having a bit of hey, we're looking for lower targets kind of conversation, I came in and I said, no, I see rallies coming in for Bitcoin. Okay, I see rallies coming in for Bitcoin. I said we got some amazing lower time frame momentum building up, and that's what really took me aback. That lower time frame momentum was pretty serious, and there was a signal that I found that has had a 100% hit rate on Bitcoin that got me a bit. Hey, now's the time to be paying attention, because for those of you who are in the XRP, who are still in the XRP trade, you guys know that I sold 25% of my XRP position. And here's the thing, Bitcoin rallies, that's going to have a positive impact on the altcoins as well. Bitcoin rallies, starts reclaiming levels, starts looking good. Well, I'm looking for XRP to also reclaim levels. And remember, I'm keeping this simple. I'm not marrying my freaking bags. I know some of you guys are really, really upset. Krisha, how could you sell 25%? Listen, man, I'm following my system. I had someone come into the Discord chat and just cuss me off. But quite a few of you stood up for me, so I really appreciate that. But yeah, I'm following the system. Okay, how you end up closing out your positions and exiting your positions is going to be very, very important. It's going to shape how you take your next trade. Okay, so I'm going to follow my system. 25% was off the table. But if Bitcoin pumped, XRP reclaimed levels, I'm going to be forced to get back in. Okay, so I gotta brace myself for that eventuality if all of this plays out. So I'm like, no, lower time for momentum, looking freaking sick. I said Bitcoin's still holding this. Bitcoin's still holding strong here. So you wouldn't want to be. I was responding to someone else here, but I essentially said that I'm actually looking for this momentum that I see building up on the lower time frames to take Bitcoin all the way up to 120K to 122K. Yeah. So we're pretty much going all the way back up to those previous all-time highs, because as many of you guys know, Bitcoin did go on to put in a new all-time high. So I said leading into the end of the month, which by the way, we're 5 days away from the end of the month, and this is going to be a very, very, very important close. Okay, a very important close. I said it's not going to be a rapid move. It's not going to happen like over the weekend, but I see the momentum building up and getting us to 120 to 122K. At the very least by the end of this month. Remember, 5 days away, so we still got time on that. But hey, this played out really, really fast. Now, there were several systems that we were talking about, and this is what I really want to bring to your attention today. This is what I want to talk about. Because, okay, we got the momentum breakout on the lower time frames. We're seeing this cascade on over to higher time frames. Bitcoin currently at 108K. Here's the thing. Okay. Here's the thing. We opened a brand new weekly candle today, right? And now this is the system that I've been talking about, and this is why I'm leaning bullish here. This is why I see Bitcoin closing really well getting to the end of the month. This is why I also think that the month of November, the month of December are going to be good months for Bitcoin. As far as I presented this weekly system to you guys, which is the Bollinger Band and the MACD system. Okay, this is something that I want you guys to be very aware of. Okay, this has had an amazing, amazing hit rate and really calling the next biggest moves, not biggest moves, but the next markup phases for Bitcoin. All right, the system was very, very clean. It was like you get a close, candle closes over the Bollinger Mid, and I want to see the MACD cross bullish. Now, here's the thing. We don't have a trigger on this just yet. Okay, we have one of the two ingredients, which is price closing over the Bollinger Mid. So that's in the bag. However, the second cross is not there, okay, which is the bullish crossover on MACD. Now, if this momentum keeps up here, if we manage to hold that Bollinger Mid, take note of the level, please. For those of you who are, who don't know about the level comes in at around 113K, okay? We essentially defend 113K. I know this is a weekly level, but even on the lower time frames, you'll be surprised as to how well the high time frame levels play out on the lower time frames as well, okay? We start seeing strength at 113K, get into your daily time frame, get into your 12-hour time frame. This is where you want to see the defense come in. We start seeing that getting into the next couple of days. I'm saying getting into, next 3 days, 4 days. I won't be surprised if we actually get that bullish crossover relatively soon, getting into the end of the month. Okay, bullish crossover plus price living over the Bollinger Mid. I'm saying we are going up. Okay, this is going up all the way back up to 123K, all the way back up to this previous all-time highs. All right, this is the entire play that I'm looking for. Right, Now, I know that a lot of people are looking at the bearish divergence. I'm saying it's not that there's no merit to that, but I want you guys to look at the market through a more holistic perspective. Yes, there is a bearish angle, but there is also a bullish angle as well. Another one that I want to bring up to your attention. Now, I know this is mainly based on sentiment, but crypto fear and greed, yes, it has improved. It was at fear for the past, it was inching towards extreme fear. We didn't actually get down to extreme fear, but fear nonetheless. Fear, and now today, hey, it's improved because the market's pumped. Fear to neutral. However, historically, this has been extremely good in calling the the points of reversal through Bitcoin's entire cycle so far, through this cycle so far. Okay, so remember, we had fear and greed dip into fear back in August of 2023. Then I believe it was the summer of 2024. Then fast forward to April, I think it was Feb to April of 2025, earlier this year. And now this is the fourth data point where we actually have sentiment dip down to fear. But here's the thing: the past three previous times where we actually saw sentiment dip down to fear, that called the reversal territory for Bitcoin. Okay, now, okay, let me just go ahead and mark this out for you guys. This is the cycle right here. So fear, market dip down to fear right here, dip down to fear right here. Okay, this was the summer of last year. Dip down to fear right here, which was earlier this year between Feb and April. Okay, and you can see how all those points were massive reversal points for Bitcoin. Right now, okay, I don't have the one chart that I needed to pull up here. Okay, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but yeah, there's a lot of things inching more bullish than bearish getting into month end. Bollinger system, we have fear and greed often sitting at historic levels where that's marked the reversal for Bitcoin. More importantly, of course, not to sound like a broken record right here, but let's look at the biweekly dynamic very quickly. Biweekly dynamic has kept us on the right side. There we go. Biweekly dynamic keeping us on the right side of the entire cycle so far. Right, biweekly dynamic we held. In fact, this was a clear front run. A monthly 10 simple moving average as well. We came down, dipped into it, gave it an official test, and that was a bounce right off the monthly 10 simple moving average support. Now, here's the thing. Everything was looking great, right? So why did I still want Bitcoin to close well? What was it? Why was I like adamant that no, this needs to rally getting into November? Because I was telling Sean this, right? Through this entire month of October, I'm like, Bitcoin, I get it. We're holding the cyclicals, but this needs a pick-me-up. It needs a pick-me-up soon. What was that one chart that was telling me that we need this? Because if we don't get it, I think something might break. It was this. Okay, I'm gonna bring it up to your attention today. Actually, no, I already have Bitcoin BTC, but it was Bitcoin against one asset that Sean actually brought up to everyone's attention, I believe, 2 years ago. And believe it or not, guys, this has called every single bear market thus far for Bitcoin, every single breaking point for Bitcoin. Every time Bitcoin had a volatile push to the downside, this pair has called it. Okay, and this is actually Bitcoin against gold. All right, let me show you this chart. Okay, Bitcoin against gold. Now, I want you guys to keep your eyes on this. And of course, props to Sean for bringing this up to everyone's attention. But in the next 4 days, getting into the 1st of November, watch out for how this pair closes. Very important. Okay, when Bitcoin broke down against gold right here back in October of 2018, in fact, I have it marked out on my chart, sweet. October of 2018, this was no ordinary breakdown. Okay, this is where Bitcoin actually fell from $6,000 all the way down to $3,000. That was the massive volatile push that we saw where people were just shocked. It was just absolute utter shock. I remember watching that live, and my jaw dropped. I'm like, what the hell is happening? It happened in a matter of minutes. All right, within hours, people were like panicked. They're like, what the hell happened? Okay, but this breaking to call that crazy flush, and you need to understand that volatility at that point had freaking compressed to a level where people were on either side of the fence. Some people are like, okay, volatility is so crushed, we might see this blow to the upside. The others were like, no, we don't know. But most people were leading more bullish than they were leading bearish. only for the volatility to kick into the downside and in a massive way. I think prior to the COVID dump, that was the other most volatile event that we saw in Bitcoin's history. At least I have witnessed in Bitcoin's history. So that was the first call right there. The second one was right here. Now, this was getting into the whole COVID era. But notice, once again, we broke that the monthly dynamic support. Okay, closed under, used it as resistance, and that was the massive flush. That too called a risk event right there. Right? That was it. Now, fast forward to the next cycle. Okay, this too was when Bitcoin actually broke down right here, getting into bear market territory. This was when 3AC happened. This was when the whole Luna fiasco happened. We had a lot of like headwinds for Bitcoin getting into this next flush out, which was the bear market of 2022. Right, but that too once again called it. And still, even if you caught these signals ahead of time, it still got you out at a pretty decent price because when people are looking to get out of any sort of bull market, looking to take profits from 70K, which was almost the bull market high of the previous cycle, to when the markets topped off, which was around, I think we can all say like around 50K. 50 to 60K was when the markets topped off, give us the actual signals. Not 50 to 60K, sorry, 50 to 40K. That flush, that flush out. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought there. Yeah, so what was I was saying that at the time when you had to take your profits or get out of the market at around $50,000 to $40,000, you're like, shit, man, I've lost so much. I've given so much back to the market. But then in hindsight, when prices fell to $15,000 and now you're looking at 50 to 40K, you're like, damn, that was a great sell, right? In hindsight, it's all amazing. Okay, in hindsight, you can call the best market tops and the best market bottoms. In hindsight, everything is perfect. But remember, it's these sort of systems that will essentially give you the tip in when is it time to be a bit more prudent. When is it time to be looking to take profits off the table? If you are looking to take profits off the table, some people are just like, no, I'm going to ride it. I'm going to ride through the bull market. I'm going to ride through the bear market because these are long-term investments for them. Okay, if you fall into that bracket of people, that's fine. But if you are someone actually looking to take profits this cycle, then keep your eyes out on these cyclical indicators. That's going to help you identify when is it time. Now, this right here was one such system brought to our attention by Sean. And believe it or not, guys, a couple of weeks ago, this is when Sean and I had this conversation. A couple of weeks ago, this pair was sitting right here. In fact, it had actually broken the monthly dynamic support. Okay, so it was living right here. And I'm just like, man, this is looking ugly. The last 3 times called bear market territory. Something broke in the system. And I went up to Sean. I'm like, man, I do not want to see this, Sean. Something's going on. I'm like, something's going on. He's like, Crusher, don't jump the gun. He's like, nothing's going on. He's like, we don't have any confirmation. Don't do anything stupid. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit back. But I've been like watching, looking for the momentum until we got it like 3 days ago. That's when I got super excited. I got into the Grove and I told you guys about what I found. Now, luckily enough, okay, we did get the pick me up here, and so now this pairing is actually closing really, really well. 4 days still left on this candle, but essentially what you want to see here, for those of you who are going to be looking at this pairing getting into November 1st, price closing over the monthly cloud. Okay, we get that. We're good for the next phase of the bull run. Okay, so as the next phase of the bull run is concerned, are we still in the bull run? Yes, we are. Until we get the signals, until we get the telltales, the signs that, hey, the bull run is over, we stick to our positions. Nothing changes. Okay, there is no new information. In fact, I would argue that there might be something a bit more to look towards, okay, which is the FOMC meeting coming up in 2 days. Now, yes, we are expecting a rate cut, right? A 25 basis point rate cut. However, this is priced in. Okay, this is already done. It's priced in, whatever. This is not what I'm excited about. What I am going to be watching and listening for is the end of QT. Pay attention to those lines. The end of QT. Ending QT is going to add more liquidity. It's going to be a bolster to liquidity in the system. Okay. The last time we got an end of QT and rates dropping in one meeting, guys, in the same meeting, the same FOMC meeting, we've only had it once before. It was right here. Okay, this was Jan of 2019. Jan of 2019, the Fed came out, say we're cutting rates, and we're going to be ending QT. What happened right after? The markets, not just Bitcoin, TradFi as well, they ripped. Okay, we went from $3K to $14,000 in a matter of freaking weeks. In a matter of weeks. Okay, liquidity is everything. Like how we say volatility is the lifeblood of every market. Well, so is liquidity. We need liquidity in the system right now. Okay, that's going to be very important. So if you guys are tuning into the FOMC meeting, that's what I would say to sort of listen out for. Okay, so as far as Bitcoin getting to the monthly is concerned, remember, holding all cyclicals, I say keep one eye out on the gold and the Bitcoin pairing. You want to see that closer of the monthly dynamic support. And the other thing is look towards, of course, your Bollinger Band, and these are indicators that are available to all of you, right? Bollinger Band and midpoint system right here. Okay, the other system that I found was on the daily time frame that essentially told me price was right here, and I'm like, nah, we're bouncing. There was another system that I found on the lower time frames. I presented that in the Seed Mastermind call that happened this past Thursday. Okay, there's still edge on that system, so if you guys have not watched that, go ahead and check it out. It's under the Seed Resources section. Okay, so Thursday Mastermind sessions have been freaking amazing, and thank you all for tuning in to those. Yeah, they've been a lot of fun. Some really, really good conversations happening in there. Lots of alpha. Sean has dropped a lot of alpha. He's in the chat. Good morning. Oh man, I just realized that you can't even see me. They've put the chat all the way at the bottom of my screen. So what I'm going to do is... well, this is going to have to do. I got so engrossed, I didn't even notice. Unseen Reality says, so the time to sell is now. Are you listening to anything I said? No, it's not the time to sell. We are holding every single level so far. Okay, we're getting to the month end. I've told you what to look out for. For now, we're all in the green. Okay, all signals are safe. All cyclical supports are safe. Don't jump the gun on turning too bearish too quickly. Now is not the time. BetaBot says, I am 70% sure we have topped out. Why 70%? Where are you getting this probability from? What are you looking at that's giving you a 70% surety that, hey, we're topping off right here? Unseen Reality says, so XRP can run. On that note, let's actually get into XRP. Okay. Man, XRP has just been punishing me, guys. Like, it's just nonstop. Whack, whack, whack. Just won't stop. Okay, so I had to sell 25% of my position based on the weekly dynamic breaking. Okay, I'm sticking to my rules, and I've been very, very honest with you guys. I'm not going to come out here and sell my position only to tell you, oh no, guys, I'm still in my position. I'm holding. I'm not going to do that. Okay, I'm going to be very honest with how I am managing my position so that I keep you guys in the know. I don't want to come out here and just be disingenuous about everything. Right? So, hey, and I've been very honest, and also that if I'm wrong on being wrong, I will get back in. I am not married to my XRP bag. Okay, and I suggest that if you find yourself marrying any of your assets, any of your bags, and you're getting emotional when you hear negative news on it, take a step back. Okay, now is the time to introspect on how you feel about your assets. These are here not for you to marry. Okay, these are here for you to make money. Okay, that's your only goal, to make money from this. I am in XRP to only make money this cycle. Okay, as soon as the cycle is done, I'll be getting out of XRP. Okay, but that's the trade that I've taken. Some of you guys are long-term hodlers of XRP, and that's completely fine. As long as you've done the research and you have the conviction to hold through the market cycles, then that's completely fine. Okay, now I'm not like you. My entire thesis on the XRP trade is different than yours, and that too is completely fine. It's very important to identify where you fall on the scale of investor versus trader. Okay, very, very important, because that's going to help you really place your conviction on the scale as well. Are you here for the long term? Or are you here for the cycle? It's going to tell you when it's time to get out, when it's time to get in. All right. So now for me, I'm trading this. Okay. I'm here for the cycle. I'm here to ride XRP's trend because I know that when the bull markets are here, XRP often has one of the most powerful trends. And I believe that this bull run, if there's any bull run where XRP has had all of the ingredients to actually give us some explosive moves, it's this bull run through a technical standpoint as well as a fundamental standpoint, right? Which is why I've held strong so far. So even this time around, okay, now I did sell 25% of my position. How did the weekly close relative to the weekly dynamic resistance? This was hard, by the way. I woke up this morning, and the first chart I looked at was actually the XRP chart. So I'll say this. I did get back around only 10% of my position. Okay, I sold 25, I got back 10. So there's still a bit more for me to get back. I want to see how this candle performs now. The thing is that it closed like right on the cusp, right? It closed right on the cusp. So I think I'm going to wait for one more weekly close, even if it closes a bit more over, right? If I have to get back in at a higher price, I'll get back in at a higher price. I don't care. As long as I get that confirmation. Confirmation for me is very, very important. Right? If I can get the confirmation and I know that, okay, there's conviction in this move, there is bullish momentum in this move, and the next likely outcome here is, XRP goes higher, then I'm fine getting back in. But I want to see a bit more confirmation over that weekly dynamic resistance, which, by the way, currently comes in. Let me actually go ahead and get the level for you guys. For those of you who are also following the weekly dynamic levels, this comes in around 263 up to 265. It's a sliver of a range, but it's one that I'm going to be hinging my re-entry off of. Okay, so right now you can see how this was a very difficult decision for me, right? As always happens, it loses a level and then it barely gets back in. It's like the move looks so tired. You're just like, is this confirmation enough? Is it not? But here's how I looked at the entire move though. Because yes, I get that this was resistance. I get that it's not like proper confirmation over. However, what I do like over here and what sort of got me to get back 10% of my position was how powerful this candle is. This is a full green candle. Okay, it's a full body candle. It's a lot of good, powerful, bullish momentum coming in here. So through a pure technical standpoint, if I really had to pull this out of a textbook, based on the momentum, seeing the full body green candle here, probabilistically, this is likely going to end up seeing continuation. Okay, pure technical textbook terms, a candle like this often drives continuation to the upside. Okay, which got me to purchase 10% of the XRP that I sold back. All right. So if this move continues, like I said, probabilistically, it's likely going to end up going to the upside. The next target here comes in at around $2.96. XRP at that point would be good to go. Okay, I'm saying this bull market for XRP could very well continue to the upside. Now, I got a lot of comments, by the way, telling me, Krisha, what happened to your $23 XRP target? Have I ever come out here and changed the target on you guys? Have I ever? Did I ever come out here and be like, oh no, guys, bull run is still on, but that $23 target off the table? Did I ever do that? Not once. So, like, guys, if things change, if my target system breaks, I will come out here and tell you that, guys, I'm no longer looking at this target. Okay, if this bull run commences from here, if we reclaim these levels once again, the targets, my bullish targets that I'm looking at is still back on the books. Okay, that doesn't change. That is not changing. When does that change? When do I stop looking at bullish targets? Well, it's a very, very simple equation. I stop looking at bullish targets on a cyclical, on a trend trade like the one I am. The XRP for me is a trend trade. I stop looking at my trend trading targets like $23 once we get into a bear market. Sometimes, guys, trading needs to be very simple. Just keep it simple for yourself, and I promise you, if you stop overcomplicating positions, you won't do stupid shit, okay? Apologies for my French, but you just stop doing stupid shit. A lot of times you'll find that the best thing you can do for any position at any given time of the market right? The best thing you can do for yourself and your portfolio is honestly to do nothing. Do nothing. The best thing you can, and I kid you not, you can look back into, well, historic price data, and you can look at your performance and how you sort of ended up chasing the fastest horse, only to get chopped up on all of your trades. And then in hindsight, if you had to really, really look into it and sort of analyze where you went wrong and how you could have done things better, you would identify that the best thing you could have done at any given point in time, especially if you were already in position, instead of chasing the fastest horse, all you could have done is just sit on your hands and do nothing, and you'd have come out ahead. Right? You don't have to trade always. Sometimes there's no trade to be had, and that too is okay. Right? Understand when you should be trading and when you should be sitting on your hands and doing nothing. Right? Consolidations, when volatility dies out, that's often a do nothing time. Now I want to look at XRP on the dashboard. Okay, XRP on the dashboard right here. I'm going to start this again, my timer. Cool. This is nice. Okay, cool. So 12-hour to daily time frame, we got longs across the board. So now we finally have a bullish flip on there. 4-hour volatility is low at 3, which is telling me that, okay, with the bulls can actually take this up even further on lower time frame. So watch out. And I actually see some bullish momentum building up here. Check this out. Look, okay, come on. It's breaking up right now. We got a bull flag breakout on XRP right now. Okay. Do you guys notice? Do you guys spot it? Okay, that's my arrow is... Oh, I think I know what I'm going to have to do. Getting out of this live stream, guys. I might have to buy back a bit more. 293 target. Yes. Come on. It's okay, Krisha. It's okay. We get back in. We get back in, girl. So Sean was right, by the way. You know, he came out here. I don't know if you guys were in that live stream. He's like, Krisha, you are looking at the wrong time frame. He's like, the weekly has been getting violated. You're looking at the wrong time frame. But I told him, I'm like, listen, Sean, I've already taken my trade. All my parameters. Where's my book? I have this book that I use. Okay, I'm not going to show you the entire diary. I have like several diaries around me right now, and they're all my trading diaries. And every position I take, I have my entire thesis written down, but more importantly, the time frame that I took it on and the system that I took it on. So I cannot, like, it's just so bad if I just go back and change the entire system on myself. I couldn't do that. You know, when I started trading, there was this one, I was reading a lot of books. I was learning from Sean predominantly, right? I was student 0 of the C program, by the way, for those of you who do not know. So Sean was sitting me down and he was making me learn this entire art of technical analysis and, more importantly, risk management. Like, he really sat down for like a month, basically walking me through like several risk management systems. He's like, Krisha, you got to get this. You got to get this. But in that time, I was also watching like other analysis online, on YouTube, on other articles, other newsletters. I was looking at everything, right? And on YouTube, I was following this. I was following the analysis of a popular analyst, a technical analyst, and I noticed that this person changed. So they were swinging bearish, okay, bearish 3K. Bitcoin was at $3,000. They were looking for lower, and they were swinging bearish on Bitcoin. And they told their entire community to know I'm swinging bearish and based on XYZ, based on an EMA system. So this person stayed bearish and bearish and bearish, looking for lower targets. Here's what happened. Price reclaimed their moving average, the moving average that kept them bearish, the moving average system that kept them bearish, that got them to tell the entire community that price is coming down lower. Okay. Price reclaimed it. The next analysis they put out, they changed the entire system on themselves as well as the people watching them. They're like, oh no, you know, that system doesn't work. Here's a new system. And this system, price is holding it as resistance. So we remain bearish. You know what happened after? The next day, I kid you not, the next day, prices on a live stream ripped 30% in their face. 30%. And they were just left shocked. Just like, what the hell happened? Don't go switching systems up on yourself. It's gonna set in bad habits, and you don't know where to draw a line at that point. Because if you change the system on one of your positions, you're gonna make, and the worst is when you change the system and you're rewarded for changing the system, because that's then gonna give you confidence to go and change the system on every other trade that you've taken. So don't do that. A huge part of being a successful trader is being a disciplined trader. Okay. So for me, okay, I said that no, weekly dynamic was the entire trade thesis. I'm going to be taking it on that. I'm going to be exiting my position on that as well. If I have to get back in, I'll get back in. At least I'm building some good habits. I'm building some good discipline. So now, once again, what's happening is that I am getting invalidated on being wrong. Okay, so now this has officially, it's likely going to end up reclaiming that weekly dynamic resistance, also owing to this crazy bullish momentum on the lower time frames. We got two patterns playing out right here. The first one, of course, is a inverted head and shoulders pattern, also leading into a bull flag that I just drew out for you. The measured move to both these targets have confluence at this entire range right here, coming in from 298 down to 294. Okay, this is your target range. Does it get up there in one fell swoop? No. I mean, sure. No. It was like a volatile zone, perhaps, but it's not. This zone is volatile. I'll mark it out for you. It's not one of the FVGs, but this is a zone of volatility. I think we get into this block right here, it's going to be a magnet up. Rejuvenated Drift says the RSI, sorry, the RSI is overbought on the 4-hour. Sean teaches like all of the seedlings how to be reading the RSI and the Stokes. You know, people often get into this trap of saying overbought, oversold. Well, if you look at the RSI and you're looking at the Stokes on, say, Bitcoin or even XRP on like the higher time frames, if you just fell into the trap of looking at, say, this RSI right here, right? For XRP, weekly RSI topped off. We got into the overbought zone on November, okay, on this candle right here. If you fell into the trap in that, hey, this is overbought, well, you missed out on 134%. So there's a way to be reading the oscillators to determine if it is overbought. I mean, this just tells you momentum. This is giving you a gauge on bullish or bearish momentum. And that's how you sort of take it. Don't look at it as being overbought or being oversold. Because if you fall into the trap of overbought or oversold, you actually end up missing out on some crazy freaking moves. Okay, so don't fall into that trap. Be a bit more analytical in how you approach your oscillators. Oscillators are often lagging also. So be mindful of that. 4-hour overbought, or rather, not overbought, but building up momentum to get into the bullish zone. Like, look at this. Let's face it, man. You said RSI was overbought? Okay, it was overbought right here, right? So now we topped off right here. Your Stokes have been in the 80 percentile mark now since before it took off. But it's just building up momentum. I mean, is there any bearish divergence that we're missing out on? There's a bearish divergence, but there's also a bullish divergence. And bearish divergence is not confirmed just yet, so that's something to note. Bullish divergence was confirmed, I believe. Yeah. And price was putting in equal lows. Exactly. For those of you in the Mango, let me pull this up. I have it right here. Yeah, go ahead and check out the curriculum. For those of you actually who want to learn how to trade, there is no indicator, by the way, that's going to be better than your education. If you start educating yourself on TA, of course, being a really, really good technical analysts, but more importantly, the 90% of what makes you a successful trader, your risk management, there is no indicator that will beat that combination. Not one indicator. Okay, the seed program is where you begin. There are all of these testimonials. This has changed a lot of lives. I am student 0 of the Mango Seed program, and I cannot recommend it enough. Look at Crypto Core, a collector of TA courses. The Mango Seed program is by far the most in-depth, has really filled in some gaps and glued a lot of loose knowledge together. So even if you guys are coming in from various backgrounds and you have like knowledge on like different things, what the Mango Seed program does is that it sort of brings it all together. It gives you a more holistic view on the markets, but more importantly on the foundation of risk management, which is everything, irrespective of what market you're trading, be it crypto, be it TradFi. This is knowledge you can take and apply it wherever you go, in any market that you trade today and any new market that comes in the future. And there are going to be new markets in the future, make no mistake. But one thing that's going to stay static and it's going to stay constant is human behavior, okay? Which is why TA works till this day, okay? Which is why you can look at these patterns, which is why price action works, okay? It's stood the test of time for a for freaking centuries. Price action is human behavior, okay? That doesn't change, right? You can never know when price is going to go up. That is just sure dumb luck. It's almost like a toss the coin. But what you can control and what's going to make you a profitable trader always is going to be how you exit your trades, how you take your losses, how you take your profits when you do that. All right. So if you guys want to learn how to do all of that, the Mango Seed program, you're going to find it in the description below. I believe there's a link there. If not, I will add one at the end of this live stream, but you're going to find it on the mangoway.com/seed. I suggest talking to the seedlings, of course. If you have any questions, get into the Discord chat and ask away, but also go through the curriculum. It's very, very in-depth, comprehensive as hell, but it's going to set you up extremely well. Okay, so go ahead and check it out. But yeah, there's an entire module right here on oscillators. There we go. Proficiency of momentum oscillators and divergences. Okay, game changer. It's going to change the way you look at all of your overbought and oversold. But yeah, XRP right here on the lower time frames looking freaking fantastic. The next one I want to go over is SUI. I've been getting like I've been seeing a lot of like analysis on SUI. And it's an interesting chart. There's much to be said, but let's get into this. Okay, SUI, long on the 4-hour time frame, freaking finally. This came in yesterday. Okay, now volatility is actually pretty neat. Okay, 51.44. So bulls are going to start building up some momentum. You can see how the 12-hour to the daily time frame, we had short signals on here, which then flipped neutral. So they're sort of getting exhausted. The bears are getting exhausted. So we can see the bulls picking up some steam here. What the volatility is telling me also is that they actually have a bit more juice left in them. Not a bit more juice, but they have built up juice in them, the bulls, to take this up further. Okay. I know people are getting a bit disgruntled on SUI, but just if you're ever wondering, hey, is it time? Is it time? Is it time? I want you guys to look towards the Mango dashboard. Okay. Just check out the volatility readings. Look at the volatility readings to tell you, okay, are the bulls building up momentum here? A lot of times that's where people get stuck. They don't know when is it time to be jumping in or when is it time to be waiting for a pullback. Okay, so is it time for SUI right now? So we can see that, okay, this has been building up a trend on the 4-hour time frame. You can see that the 4-hour trend and volatility profile also swinging bullish. But what's important here is I want to see where the higher time frames are at right now. Okay, high time frame is going to be very, very important because we're getting into the monthly open of November. Now, as far as, okay, here's the biggest issue that people have with SUI, right? We had this crazy dump, but the pick-me-up that we saw on SUI was very, very lackluster compared to what we saw on things like XRP, on even Cardano for that matter, and some other, like, quite a few coins out there. Actually saw some great pick-me-ups. SUI, people have an issue with this price action. They're like, what the hell is this? This is like nothing. Fine, we got this crazy wick, all well and good, but they wanted to see a bit more momentum here as the other coins have seen now in the past 24 to 48 hours. So SUI is not seeing that, but I don't want to jump the gun here and calling, hey, this is weak. Let's actually go ahead and identify some regions of support. Now, there's an entire sort of support zone right here on SUI, right? You can look at this entire range, and we held it. Price did hold it. We held the upper band of it, so that's good. That's a good sort of move. But let's talk about the monthly. I want to see if the monthly is holding any levels here. 10 simple moving averages lost. We don't have enough data for the monthly dynamic, but we have the monthly 21 exponential moving average sitting right underneath us, which is holding still. Okay, I think here's what I think. Okay, for SUI. SUI, I believe, only builds up momentum if we can start reclaiming 10 simple moving average to the upside. Okay, look for that. It's taking all the lows right here. You know, often people want to get in on the best, most lowest price. They're like, no, it's at support. I mean, yeah, sure, buy at support if you're looking to catch your quick swing plays. But don't buy at support looking for the trend trade before you get the signals of an actual trend trade. Okay, part of the trend traders guide is you're never really going to end up catching the bottoms. You're never going to end up catching the tops. It's just something that you have to be okay with if you're looking to capture a trend trade. The trend doesn't begin from here. For the trend to begin, you want to see the trend begin on your higher time frames. You want to really look for price to sort of begin that daily, that's the 2-day trends, basically your higher highs or higher lows, and then continue that, start reclaiming levels like that weekly, the 10 simple moving average, your 21 exponential. You want to see all those slopes curve up. You want to see positive slopes on them. That's when your trend really begins. But for now, I believe SUI, yeah, we're holding support, but this is for the quick range for now. Can it continue? Like I said, for as long as Bitcoin is in the bull run, I see the altcoins actually continuing to the upside. In fact, I'm going to go one step ahead. I'm going to tell you this. I'm not calling timing. I'm not going to call timing here, okay? I don't think it's responsible for me to call timing. But this next phase, getting into November, okay, if we see this, what I'm about to show you, that is, if we see total 2 close over this key region of resistance, or rather support, apologies, not resistance, support, that we're holding right now, which is, by the way, that support region is coming from the previous high of that previous bull run. If total 2 holds us as support, I'm saying this next quarter belongs to the altcoins. Bitcoin will still run, it can still run, but I'm saying the next quarter belongs to the altcoins. I believe the altcoins are going to end up picking up a lot more momentum than Bitcoin. Why am I saying this? Because you need to understand that the most recent liquidation event was the largest liquidation event in crypto history. The largest. Which side of the market got attacked most? The altcoins. The altcoins got wrecked. They barely even began their bull runs and they got wrecked with a crazy freaking liquidation event. Only for them to see pick-me-ups and only for total 2 to actually manage to reclaim and also close over a key region of resistance. A region of resistance that has marked every single alt season in all previous cycles thus far. Every single alt season. The one in 2017, the one in 2020, and now we finally got a close over that previous region of resistance, and the close over actually came in August of this year. So this entire time, you need to understand that this bull market has been running since 2023, but we only got the signal 2 months ago. We never really had it. People were looking for alt season, but we never really had the signals. Okay, so come November, we close over here. I think this is going to be it's going to be a huge bullish sign. Like, not only did the altcoins get wrecked, they were sent to their grave, but they got resurrected. It's like a movie. Okay, there's something that needs to be said about this. This is not an ordinary accomplishment here. Okay, XRP lost weekly dynamic only to frigging take it back in one fell swoop. Bitcoin's still holding all cyclical levels. This is still looking good. Right? So your most important time frame, I don't care what chart you're looking at. I don't care what altcoin you're playing. The most important time frame right now is the monthly time frame. Look at your higher time frames to get a gauge in Who's got the edge here? Is it the bulls or is it the bears? And right now, across the board, if you notice what I'm noticing, okay, in terms of price relative to its monthly levels, the bulls have the edge here getting into the month of November until otherwise. If we see closes underneath cyclical regions of support, I'm like, okay, bears are taking over. But until and unless that happens, we cannot jump the gun. But yeah, this is total 2. For those of you who want to pull it up on your charts as well. Total 2 looking fantastic. Fed speak is going to be important. Getting in, which comes in 2 days. The FOMC meeting. End of quantitative tightening are the words that you want to look for. Gold and silver chart, please. Yes, sir. You know, people are trying to call top on gold. I think it's a fool's game right now. Why would you try to call a top on this? Every time I see like mainstream outlets call top on gold, I'm like, no, it's got more to go. When have they ever been right? When have they ever freaking been right? But yeah, gold is looking, I think it's still looking, yeah, we're seeing a pullback right here. I mean, it saw quite a bit of a hurrah right there, volatility, escape volatility. So this is basically coming back to its averages. But this is in no way an end of a trend. To call the end of the gold trend is just silly. It's likely going to come down all the way here, 3,864. Now it could end up being a buy opportunity. It's probably going to end up being a buy opportunity. If it's a clear flush down, I think it's going to end up being a buy opportunity. Could possibly I don't want to say it's going to be a buy opportunity because it's going to continue to the upside. It's going to be a buy opportunity at the very least for the short time frame. So if you're looking to like play the quick swing, great. That's your swing to back up to 4,000. But could that continue from there? Absolutely. But you want to wait on the confirmation. But at the very least, I think this 3.8 at the first tap is a buy. It's going to like spring up. By the way, we have a TradFi tab on the dashboard. So go ahead and check it out. You can see that this gold ETF is here over here as well as the silver ETF. Silver is short. What the schmizzles? Flip short a day ago. No, not a day ago. Sorry, 4 days ago. Weekly and monthly is still long. Something to note. But short, look at the volatility, 90. But yeah, guys, keep an eye on the TradFi tab of the dashboard. You can find some really good trend and volatility profiles right here as well. You can see quite a few actually. What's Tesla doing? Did you know Tesla got removed from the Mag 7 and the Mag 7 turned into Mag 6? Do you know why they got removed? Because the price action of Tesla was very, very erratic. So they took out Tesla from the max. They're like, no, you're not as bullish as we'd like you to be. So whoop, out you go. Oof. Okay. This ends like this in 4 days. If silver closes like this in 4 days, this is a knife in the heart. Okay? This is like a sword. Look at this as a sword. A sword, a red sword that's going to be plunged right into your heart. This is not a good candle. It's a horrible candle. This is going to come all the way down here to 33. That's a nasty ass candle. Sean says Tau is going to be something to keep an eye on, and I think so. I believe that Tau is I read a bit of the white paper. It's one of those projects. So it's got a lot of like Bitcoin-like qualities in terms of scarcity, the scarcity aspect of it. I believe it's proof of work. 21 million. I'm not in Tau. Just heads up, okay? I don't have any holdings, so it's not like I'm shilling anything here. But I was just doing a bit of research. It's an AI play. Now, I'll have to do a bit more digging, and perhaps I can write something on it. For those of you who like to sort of read articles, I was thinking of doing a small write-up on it, just to see what's going on. Because here's the thing: there are going to be a lot of like really, really cool innovations within the crypto space. It's going to be much like, you know how the dot-com boom, it's all like so many companies just like spring up, but from all of those companies, only like a handful actually stayed and did something significant. Crypto is going to go through something like that as well. Could Tau be one of them? I don't know. But it's worth sort of keeping your ears and your eyes out on what could be the next big thing, right? What could be one of those solid foundational projects that are here to stay? Are there any use cases right now? What is the network like around these projects? So keep your eyes out on that. I've been looking into Tau. I've not done too much research on it, but what I like about it is the scarcity aspect. So 21 million fixed supply. Let's actually go get onto that chart. Tau. Yeah, there we go. Did you see the target on my chart? Like $1,000. Let's go. Currently up against resistance. I should not have a... Yeah, currently up against resistance, but I'd say if we break, likely getting back up to 705. But yeah, they're playing with AI, basically letting the community build AI agents, and then they get paid in Tau. So it's the incentive mechanism here is pretty cool. And considering we're getting to the age of AI and people are going to be creating their own AI agents for like very specific tasks, and if there's a community and an entire ecosystem built on that, and you get paid depending on how many people use your AI agent. So there's that whole incentive mechanism in that if you build something good that other people can also benefit from, that's where the incentives kick in. That's where you get paid. So it could be something to look into. The tokenomics seem pretty amazing. So yeah. Tesla is a fat one. Yeah, I like Tesla. Gold will have a healthy bullish pullback. I think so. I think it's going to pull back to the Kijun on that weekly, and then it might be a spring. Could the spring continue? Maybe. Could it just end up putting in not a new, but like a lower high? Yeah, it could do that too. So it really depends on the risk on environment, right? Because gold is often that safe haven that the market often runs to when there is a lot of uncertainty. But as soon as the uncertainty dies down now, as far as the tariff talks are concerned, there's a lot of good positive news now on the horizon. So that uncertainty is dying down in terms of the whole China tariff situation. So also the war situation. And also now, as far as liquidity is concerned, if we get an end of QT and we have like basically synergy between all fronts, right? It all sort of comes together. There's like an amalgamation of everything that's positive. We could see these markets rip once more. Now, but does that mean that, hey, it rips, we get the whole super cycle that everyone's talking about? I'm not calling super cycle, okay? We can see these markets rip. I mean, just look back into November, December of last year. We saw the months of November and December freaking print people a lot of freaking money, right? So we could get some crazy gains just in the last 2 months of the year, only for the markets to then top off. So I don't want you guys to get too fixated on super cycles. Okay, don't go be like, oh yeah, it's a super cycle. Let's just ape into everything. Freaking breakouts, I'm getting right in because it's a super cycle. Don't do that. Okay, still be very, very, I don't want to use the word prudent, of course, that goes without saying, but try and get some good bids in, guys. Come on. Okay, get good trades that are going to be super easy for you to manage. Like, why would you get in on a breakout? Because then managing that trade is going to be stupid difficult. Imagine people getting in on gold right here, right? So breakout trade, it gets like this crazy move to the upside, and now we're sitting in blood. Okay, they're like, what do I do now? Should I sell? Is it going to come down lower? Is it going to bounce? There's just too much. There's too much uncertainty. There's too much apprehension. You tend to sort of you tend to have loose hands on all of your trades, right? You end up letting go of some really, really good positions because you got in bad entries. So try and figure your entries out. Okay, so just be careful on that. Entries are important. Ashley says, should we sell Bitcoin now and buy it when it gets lower? We spoke about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is holding all its cyclical supports. I'm liking the look of Bitcoin. I am more bullish than I am bearish on Bitcoin. The key time frame to be watching out for is your monthly time frame on Bitcoin. That's gonna tell you if this goes up. The monthly looks good, man. Monthly looks good. We're holding monthly 10 SMA. We're holding the biweekly dynamic support. Weekly oscillators are looking good. The Bollinger Band system also triggered bullish. Next likely move is likely going to be to the top of the range at $123,000. The one chart to be looking out for to figure out if Bitcoin still remains within its bull run parameters, of course, it's Bitcoin against gold, and that too is looking freaking fantastic right now. So as far as Bitcoin, is Bitcoin bearish? No, it's not bearish. Not at all. Don't jump the gun on Bitcoin. Okay, now I got a TikTok. I got sounds like TikTok, Krisha. Okay, yeah. So I think this is it for today. We covered Bitcoin, we covered XRP, we covered SUI, we covered Total 2, which marks the altcoin season of every single bull run so far. I am liking the look of the markets. I am more bullish than I am bearish. If you had to ask me, Krisha, if you really had to place a bet right now, this is not financial advice. So don't freaking come into the Discord chat and cuss me up. Be like, but Krisha said, well, guess what? I got my risk parameters pat down. If I have to get out of the trade, I will get out of the trade. I am not married to my bags. But gun to my head, if you had to ask me, Krisha, next 2 months of the year, November and December, if you had to tell, if you had to pick a side, what side are you going to pick? I'm picking the bull side. I think the bulls got the edge. Now, of course, I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. If you guys are looking for the Discord chat, you're going to find it on themangoway.com/Discord. I would really, really appreciate if one of you guys would just link it in the comments. For those of you looking to get into the best freaking program there is to learn how to trade and, more importantly, to get your risk management pat down, it is the Mango Seed program. Get into the testimonials. Just look at how many lives this has changed. Get into the Discord chat. Look at what people have to say about it. Get into the curriculum. Go through it to see exactly what it is that you're going to be getting out of this. Okay, this is going to be an absolute game changer for you guys. So go ahead and check it out. And yeah, of course, keep it easy, keep it stress-free. Do the Mango way, do the easy way. I will now see you in the next live stream, and I will also see you in the Discord chat. Ciao, you guys.